Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, a passenger train collided with a freight train in Greece on Tuesday, killing at least 32 people and hurting at least 85 others. And across the crossroads, this 20-year-old woman is the latest arrest in the homicide investigation of a man found murdered near Freeport. Also, a driver says he accidentally crashed into a Wiener Schnitzel on John Stockbauer. We have this story and more straight ahead.
On the outside, live look from Cuero ISD one more time. Cloudy skies in the forecast area today, including both Schuylkill and Cuero and in DeWitt County. What about the rest of the day for us here? And tomorrow, big changes in our weather. We'll take a look coming up.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain. Today is the first day of March 2023. The time is now just about 6:31 on your Wednesday morning, and on this day in 1872, Yellowstone Park was established as the world's first national park. Now, I've never been to Yellowstone Park. I always think of Jellystone Park. Is that what they called it? With Yogi Bear Tray.
Exactly, yes, it was Jellystone Park. There you go.
Have you been to Yellowstone?
I have not. I'd love to go someday.
I really want to go.
It's fabulous. I'm just looking at pictures of it and hear people talk about it. It's fabulous, of course. Old Faithful's there too. That geyser is 73 degrees on the outside. Currently, southerly winds near 10 miles per hour, and keeping the temperatures on the warm side today. Humid conditions. Some fog along the immediate coast. 5-mile visibility. Visibilities, 4-mile visibilities, 3-mile visibility at Rockport. Everyone doing pretty good this morning with 12-mile visibilities arriving coming up by 9 o'clock or so to 10 a.m. as the atmosphere heats up and gives us, of course, a cloudy day, but good visibilities otherwise. Look at the humidity levels, and there's 70-degree dew points area-wide. That's very humid air, very extremely humid air, more like summertime air around here. But notice as we run this model through your day on Thursday, pretty much nothing changes as of yet. By the time we get to Thursday afternoon, it's also in the 70-degree dew point range. But look at this right here. Here comes the front. Very dry air, fire danger more than likely for your day on Thursday into your Friday as this front moves on through and pushes all the humidity away, replaces it with very dry air. Dew points in the 20s and teens, more than likely coming through the crossroads by your Thursday night into your early Friday morning. So fire weather danger is more than likely a probability coming up for your day on Friday. We'll talk about that. Rain chances ahead of the front coming through your day tomorrow in the afternoon. We'll talk about that, temperature changes, and your full weather later on this half hour. Make it a great day today, of course, and stay cool. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. Thank you, Trey. Now to that train disaster in Europe. Multiple people were killed. 2 trains collided north of Athens, Greece, igniting a massive fire. One of the trains was packed with hundreds of passengers. At least 32 people are confirmed dead and more than 80 are hurt.
This morning, the death toll rising after a passenger train collided with an oncoming freight train in northern Greece. Emergency crews arriving to find debris scattered everywhere. Train cars toppled over and derailed, a mangled mess of metal, some parts unrecognizable. Officials say at one point more than 150 firefighters and 40 ambulances responded, nearby towns assisting. Hellenic Train Company says about 350 people were aboard the passenger train that departed from Athens, adding firefighters and Hellenic Train personnel rushed to the scene, participating in rescue operations and providing assistance. Dozens of victims were taken to hospitals, some with serious injuries, but officials say the severity of the collision has made it extremely difficult to free people trapped. Cranes were brought in to help move the wreckage. Many of the passengers on the train were college students returning from a long weekend. Lionel Moise, ABC News, New York.
Wharton police have made several arrests in the murder of a 45-year-old man. Larry Ortiz Jr. was killed on January 28th near Freeport. A 20-year-old Wharton County woman is the latest arrest in this case. Ansley Tay Castillo was arrested last Friday and is one of 4 people in custody and charged with murder. All suspects are being held on a $2 million bond. Victoria Crime Stoppers looking for Jamie Lee Johnson. The 31-year-old is wanted on 2 outstanding warrants. Johnson is 5'7" and 145 pounds with brown hair and green eyes. If you have any information on her whereabouts, call Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200 or go to crimestoppersvictoria.com to submit a tip. Turning now to the crash at a Wiener Schnitzel on John Stockbauer. The driver says they accidentally drove their vehicle into the restaurant yesterday afternoon. Luckily, no one was hurt. 2 people were in the vehicle and 4 working staff members were inside of the building. The Wiener Schnitzel is closed until further notice. Okay, get your cell phone and scan this QR code. It's our quick response code to download the Crossroads Today app. You can get breaking news alerts, vote in our viewer poll, get the latest news, weather, and sports, and learn all about our ongoing contest right there on the app. Submit those news tips and photos. The time is now 6:35 on your Wednesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. A smoke alarm alerted fire crews to Shields Elementary.
After a lengthy hearing on President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, signals that the conservative majority at the Supreme Court may be leaning one way. I'm ABC's Faith Abube in Washington. Details coming up.
And temperatures throughout the morning time in the 70s, 80s by the afternoon time here. Cloudy skies, some rain chances tomorrow. We'll cool down and it'll get more drier in the atmosphere as we head toward your day tomorrow. How cool will it get? We'll find out in your forecast.
My time in the service, I did a lot of amazing things. I was very fortunate to have some cool opportunities.
United States Marine Corps veteran Mastery Gunnery Sergeant Gail Horn is your military hero for the month of February. She is a decorated veteran, having served 25 years in the Marines. Horn grew up in rural Minnesota and in her mid-20s realized it was time for a career change because, as she puts it, there's a level of camaraderie that one can only find in the Marines.
You know what? I think it's time for me to make a career change. I call it my first midlife crisis because I was 26 when I went to boot camp.
So on January 10th, 1984, Horn arrived at Parris Island, South Carolina for Marine boot camp. Her first permanent duty station was in North Carolina, where her primary job was in aviation electronics, as she was a deceptive electronics countermeasures repair technician, working in the helicopter portion of the air wing. After working in her MOS and then teaching it, Horn was presented with the opportunity to be a Marine drill instructor.
It is without a doubt one of the most challenging tours of duty I had, being a female drill instructor. We're a little bit harder on ourselves because we're so few. We call ourselves the fewer the prouder.
Like some challenges in life, those that seem to be the hardest end up being the most rewarding, as she would go on to be a drill instructor for a total of 6 platoons, with her Marines going on to live amazing lives and careers.
It was probably one of the most challenging things I've ever done, but it's also one of the things where I really grew emotionally and within myself. You know, where you find out, are you tin or titanium? What kind of metal are you made of?
And Horn is titanium. After talking with her, I'd even go as far to say she's tungsten, which is, for those of you who don't know, one of the strongest metals on Earth. Yes, I had to Google that one. She would spend a few years in Japan, something she said was a memorable time, being able to take her daughter across the world, even doing things like go to Japanese Disney World. After Japan, Horn would work at the Marines headquarters as an enlisted career counselor, a highlight in her career as she would guide people within the service and help them plan and advance their military careers. Then she got deployed to Iraq, where she did have a close call.
We started getting bombed. We started getting hit. Rockets were hitting left and right. And I remember the one girl, because they were really close to leaving. I mean, I was freaking out because I'd been in country 3 days. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? And they're sitting there going, and she's putting her mascara on, and she's going, and it sweeped because the rocket hit right then. She wipes it off, finishes getting dressed, and goes because she was with Scarface. They were the light attack helicopters. And so guess who's going to go try to find out who was rocketing us? Scarface. So she knew she needed to get going real quick.
March is Women's History Month. This year's theme is celebrating those who tell the stories.
All these women have done so many things, and every woman has a story to tell. And it's important that we, hear them and appreciate them, because in so many countries, women are still put down so badly. And some places here even, depending on the situation. It's easier to rise up from it here. It is a lot of places.
Only about 8% of the Marines is made up of women, so when reflecting on her time as a Marine, Horn recalls she had to rise above the challenge of being in the minority.
I remember my senior drill instructor telling me, you're going to have to be 20% better just to be considered equal. And I kind of carried that through my career.
And she has one final message to all the women out there who are considering becoming a Marine.
Do it. If you want to be a Marine, be a Marine.
Horn is also very active in the local VFW and is the service officer for the Disabled American Veterans and secretary for the Marine Corps League. She's also an avid seamstress and used to train and show Cocker Spaniels, having a few dogs and cats of her own as well. Thank you, Gail Horn, to your service to your country and to all the current and retired service members out there. And a special shout out to all the women watching. Adam Seibel, 25 News Now.
My name is Adarius McCormick, and I want you to know about my new segment, Homemade with Adarius. I will interview amazing people and showcase intriguing places that may be new to you in the Crossroads. Want to show off something homemade? Email us at homemade@victoriatelevision.com. See my new segment on Crossroads Today YouTube channel and Crossroads Today Plus. You do not want to miss this.
This week, Michael's taking you live to one of the most remote inhabited islands anywhere in the world. An island filled with mystery, beauty, and magical wonder. Easter Island Live. You're invited for the Morning Global event, Good Morning America, this week.
Janine, my students are with Mural Arts, deciding their legacy.
Let's go! I was looking for a new paint color for my bathroom downstairs.
Where?
Shut up, Janine.
I'm Jacob.
T-Mobile covers 99% of people in America. So when we say we have your town covered, we mean it.
Where I live is a rural area, and the coverage has been awesome.
And great coverage is just the beginning. Families and small businesses can save 20% versus AT&T.
The savings we get allows us to do more things as a family.
We're a one-income military family. Saving every month really does help us.
Plus, with our T-Mobile Price Lock, we guarantee we won't raise the price of your rate plan. Switch today.
Good morning. Meteorologist Trey Mining here. Let's take a look at the wind speeds throughout the day. Through 6 a.m. hour, beginning to increase a little bit, 15 to 20 mile per hour winds, gusts to 25 or 30 miles per hour. Late in the afternoon time will be our maximum time for us to see the winds. Calming down a little bit in the overnight, increasing again for your day tomorrow as the front gets closer to us and approaches us from the west and northwest. Gusty winds ahead of it and behind it, bringing in much drier air behind the front, obviously. A few little sprinkles up there. It's a little bit more echo on the radar than actually is there because some of that is being able to be evaporated as it falls down, not reaching the ground. So for us around here, the atmosphere is pretty quiet overall. Humid though, definitely. Temperatures starting off in the 70s this morning and rising throughout the day, well in the 80s by the time we get to the afternoon time, of course. For your Thursday, pretty much the same goes. And then cooler temperatures, look at this for Friday, 6 a.m. in the 50s and even some 40s likely from Nixon northward. So the cool air will be on its way and low humidities as well. Your forecast comes up a little bit later on before we go this half hour. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. The conservative justices on the U.S. Supreme Court appear skeptical of the president's plan to forgive millions of dollars in federal student loan. And now millions of Americans eligible for the debt cancellation will have to wait until the summer to find out whether the Supreme Court will allow the program to move forward.
President Biden's popular student loan forgiveness plan now squarely in the hands of the Supreme Court. For more than 3 hours Tuesday, the conservative justices casting doubt on whether President Biden has the legal authority to wipe nearly $500 billion in federal student loans with just a stroke of his pen.
I think most casual observers would say if you're going to give up that much amount of money, if you're going to affect the obligations of that many Americans on a subject that's of great controversy, they would think that's something for Congress to act on.
Critics calling the plan a scam, an unfair giveaway that would overlook some Americans like those who already paid back their loans.
And there are the indirect costs, like the fact that the president's student loan giveaway is likely to prolong our current inflation crisis.
According to the White House, 26 million people already applied for relief and 16 million were approved before the two legal challenges halted the program.
You go to school to get a well-paying job, but you're also digging yourself a hole of enormous debt, and it's hard to crawl out of.
Justice Amy Coney Barrett and the 3 liberal justices zeroing in on the legal standing of 6 GOP-led states suing the Biden administration, suggesting none would suffer direct harm.
Usually we don't allow one person to step into another's shoes and say, I think that that person suffered a harm, even if the harm is very great.
Protesters gathered outside the court as the conservative majority now appears poised to crush the loan forgiveness plan. And White House sources tell ABC News that they're confident they can win this case. A decision is expected by the end of June, and right now the White House insists there is no plan B if they were to lose this case. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
A smoke alarm alerted Victoria fire crews to the Shields Elementary campus yesterday afternoon. That's in the 3400 block of Bluebonnet Street. Firefighters say the smoke was caused by a possible air conditioning malfunction. The time is now 6:45 on your Wednesday morning. Still to come, it apparently doesn't take much exercise to have a positive impact on your health. Time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Gilbert. Hope you have a great day. Love from all your family.
And it's a happy 13th birthday to Messiah. Love from Mom and Dad.
And Oscar winner Lupita Nyong'o has a birthday today. She's 40.
And music superstar Justin Bieber is 29 today. Happy birthday.
Happy 13th birthday, Jaden, from Mom, Alexia, Mariah, Momo, and Popo Canales.
And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com, click on More Under Home. You'll see the KVU Submit Your Birthday.
I also want to wish my friend Fee a happy birthday. Fee, you are amazing. The time is now 6:46 on your Wednesday morning. We'll be right back.
We know who killed Gloria.
You think this is our guy? Prove it.
There it is. Felony assault and domestic violence. Did you kill Gloria Nunmuck?
I'd like you to leave now.
The Victoria Television Group is proud to honor our veterans, and we need your entries. Each month, we'll acknowledge a new veteran to salute. To submit, go to the Military Hero page on crossroadstoday.com and help us recognize the deserving servicemen and women in our community.
In this morning's GMA First Look, another near miss on the runway. According to the FAA, air traffic control telling a Learjet pilot to wait before taking off because a JetBlue plane was landing on an intersecting runway.
Land 4 right, JetBlue 206.
But even after acknowledging the message, the FAA says the Learjet pilot took off anyway, forcing the JetBlue plane to go from 87 feet to 3,900.
And then hitting the ground and then going back up within seconds. Like, you definitely got a jolt, and then nobody knew what was going on.
The JetBlue flight landing safely, but it's one of at least 5 close calls in recent months that ABC News has learned of. The FAA facing questions about airline safety after incidents like these. And coming up at 7 a.m., aviation expert Steve Ganyard weighs in live. With your GMA First Look, I'm Gio Benitez, ABC News, New York.
Good morning once again. Temperature is currently in the 70s and staying that way till about 11 o'clock hour this morning. And then about noontime and after that, toward the afternoon, in the 80s area wide with gusty winds, 20-30 mile per hour winds from the south, keeping that humidity alive here in the Crossroads region and keeping it mostly dry as well. And we have cloudy skies for the majority of the day. Maybe some breaks in the cloud cover here and there. Might let the sun through just for a little bit and keeping those temperatures still in the 80s though, regardless if we have sunshine or we do not today because warmer air mass in place. Let's run this model into your day on Thursday if we can. Most of the day Thursday will be mostly on the dry side, cloudy skies and gusty winds. A few rain showers here and there toward the morning hours. Better rain chances as we head toward the latter half of the day. As the front approaches, there it is right there, pushing to the east and giving us much drier conditions coming up for overnight on your Thursday night into your Friday especially. 87 degrees today, morning fog, partly cloudy skies, southerly winds. Overnight lows will be about 70 degrees, not really low at all. Areas of fog possible. Highs tomorrow, 85 degrees. Front arrives late in the day after sunset, more than likely. A few rain showers and thunderstorms possible. 30% chances along the boundary in the evening hours for your Thursday. Drier conditions with lows in the 40s coming up by Friday and Saturday.
Question of the day. According to Jif, how many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches will the average American eat in their lifetime? Like us on Facebook, Crossroads Today. Post your guess to today's question and we'll have the answer later on Sunrise. It apparently doesn't take much exercise to have a positive impact on your health. Scientists, mostly from the University of Cambridge in the UK, published a study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine Tuesday. They found just 11 minutes of aerobic activity every day can lower your risk for cancer, cardiovascular disease, or premature death. About 11 minutes per day is around half the minimum recommended amount of physical activity. The study found that amount of time was associated with 23% lower risk of early death. Aerobic activities include a variety of exercises from walking and running to dancing, cycling, and swimming. The exercises had to be done with moderate to vigorous intensity. The study shows the higher levels of physical activity, the lower the possible rates of premature death and chronic disease. Leading us to your viewer poll. Do you exercise at least once a week? Let's take a look. Okay, 62% of you say yes and 38% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote. You can also scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. New numbers are out and they show home prices in the U.S. continue to fall. The latest S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller U.S. National Home Price Index was released Tuesday. The index showed housing prices fell in December for a 6th month in a row. The national composite declined by 0.8%, with all the cities in the 20-city index reporting declines. Still, if you compare December's numbers to the same month in 2021, U.S. home prices actually nudged higher, but the pace of that growth has slowed compared to prior months. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. At least 3 police officers shot Tuesday night in Kansas City.
Movies are dreams that you'll never forget.
This is larger than any of us.
Stop the presses! Does she know that's not a real thing anymore?
Wow.
I'm back, baby! I'm me. 1, 2, 3, no apologies. I'm me.
Are you ready to change your career path? Come join our sales team at the Victoria Television Group. Do you have a passion for customer service and sales? This is the right place for you. We offer great benefits: medical, dental, life, 401k, paid vacation, and much more. Call me and let me show you why the Victoria Television Group sales team is the right choice for you.
The Nave Museum's current exhibit is a retrospective of Nancy Bandy's life and art. Primarily a landscape artist, her works in pastel and oil use glorious color to capture the majesty and splendor of big Texas skyscapes. Also featured are portraits and street photography by local artist Danny Vivian, which capture the emotions and personalities of the people he photographs. Open through April 2nd, this is an exhibit not to be missed. Proudly sponsored by the Victoria Television Group.
This is Ford Truck Month, Texas. Time to get up and get into Ford F-150, part of F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight. All amped up and ready for work or play. Plus, there's a great selection in stock and ready for delivery today. So get into Ford Truck Month, Texas, and see what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. Drive Ford F-150 with 0.9% for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days, plus complimentary maintenance.
Need weather around the clock? When the weather changes in the Crossroads, you need a reliable source. Visit Interactive Radar online for the latest conditions in the Crossroads area. CrossroadsToday.com. Weather at your fingertips.
And now for today's question of the day. According to Jif, how many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches will the average American eat in their lifetime? Okay, Trey, we got some guesses. Tanya saying a lot. David says 4,237. Let's see, 2,990, that's from Melanie. 5,600, that's from Sharina. And Orlo is guessing from Lansing, Michigan to Phoenix, Arizona 12 times. Suki says 2,000, but she says she's not going to have any because she doesn't like peanut butter. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Bobby says 3,500. Kenneth says 3,000. Luke Lucas says 462. That's close to what I guessed. I guessed 300. Leticia is guessing 2,984, and so is Deborah, and Beth is guessing 10,000.
Fantastic. Thanks, everyone, for chiming in for the question of the day. The answer we're looking for is 3,000 PB&Js in a lifetime.
Wow.
There you go. It's an easy little meal there. Thanks for chiming in. We have another question of the day coming up tomorrow to get your brain going for your Thursday.
At least 3 police officers were shot Tuesday night in Kansas City while executing a search warrant. It happened shortly before 10 p.m. on Blue Ridge Boulevard. 3 officers knocked on the door of a home and attempted to make entry. While they were knocking, gunfire erupted toward the officers, who then returned shots. Authorities say the 3 officers suffered non-life-threatening injuries and are expected to survive. No further information was released. Advisors of the Food and Drug Administration are recommending the agency approve the nation's first RSV vaccine. The shot is from Pfizer and it's for people 60 and older. Pfizer says a single-dose shot can reduce the risk of illness from the respiratory virus called RSV by up to 86%. The next step is for the FDA to approve it, which can take several months, and then the CDC must recommend it before it could become available. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot concedes her defeat in her mayoral re-election bid. It's the first time in 40 years a Chicago mayor has lost re-election. Former Chicago Public Schools CEO Paul Vallis and Cook County Commissioner Brandon Johnson emerged Tuesday night as the frontrunners in the mayoral election, heading to a runoff election on April the 4th. Lightfoot spoke with supporters after losing her re-election bid, saying that she is grateful for her time as mayor. Pam Health tells us their Ukraine support campaign, which ended yesterday, received around 200 boxes of donations. Great work. And they asked for donations to send to the people of Ukraine as the war rages on. Donated items included jackets, blankets, backpacks, as well as diapers, bandages, and pain relievers. Toys for children were also needed. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and on your cell phone. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And let's get a final check of our forecast with Trey. Trey, it looks like we're headed into a drought season, Trey.
It could be. So the rain kind of here and there, but not really too much. There's rain chances tomorrow, but only 30%. 87 degrees for your day today. Gusty winds afternoon at 30 miles per hour, partly cloudy skies. Overnight lows near 70 degrees, with patchy fog possible. Most of the day tomorrow will be on the warm and humid side, with rain chances toward the afternoon and evening hours when the front gets close to us and moves through. It's 85 degrees we're calling for the daytime high. Cooling down. Coming up for Friday, highs only near 70, 60s in most of the areas north of Victoria. Lows in the 40s by then. Small rain chance tomorrow. Then heating up and warming up again by the weekend, and more humidity by the weekend as well. Make it a great day today. Carolina?
I got to put all my winter hats away, Trey. Just trade them out for my straw hats. Thank you. And thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Come to crossroadstoday.com for more local news, weather, and sports. And join James, Dawn, Howie, Karina, Gino today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.